So this is where it gets juicy. What on earth is the point in this? The share price was seen to increase by something crazy, like 500% between August 19 and August 20. Stocks, as you would have seen if you're an investor yourself, go up and down all the time. The price of a stock will fluctuate constantly, hence the short-term volatility of the stock market. Anyway, a company's stock can actually split. There are a couple of ways that a stock can actually split, which we'll cover in this video, and I'll also touch on the potential upcoming Tesla stock split. There are two main types of a stock split. So you can have the conventional forward stock split or the reverse split. Put very, very simply, the purpose of a forward stock split is to increase the number of stocks a shareholder has. And a reverse split is, well, the reverse. It's to decrease the number of stocks a shareholder has. And if this is not making sense so far, then don't worry, just stick with me. A forward split is when a company, and in particular the company's management, decide to split its stock. So, if they were to decide on a 2-to-1 ratio of a stock split, a forward stock split, then they would be deciding that everyone that owned one share before the split would then own 2 shares after the split. So let's say you own 200 shares of Apple, and then they decide to do a stock split. After the stock split, you would then own 400 shares of Apple, providing that they took out a 2-to-1 split. But why would any company give away free stocks, you ask? Well, it's not quite like this. A company is not just deciding to do this out of the pure kindness of their heart. It's not a buy one, get one free shopping day where the CEO is thinking,
"Oh, I'm feeling a bit frivolous with my money today. Here's an extra share."
It's not like that, I'm sorry. The value of your investment does not actually change. Well, at least not in theory. And it's also important to highlight that the market cap of the company stays the same. So when a company does this type of split and you now have double, triple, or however many times more of the stock that you originally had before the split, it's important to note that the money that you've got invested in that company stays the same. If you had £100 in a company before a split and you owned 5 shares within that company, if it then did a 2-to-1 forward split, you would then still have £100 in that company, but now you would have 10 shares. The thing is, after the split, each one of your shares would now be worth half the amount that it was before, but overall you would still have that same £100. So basically you now have 10 shares worth £100, whereas before you had 5 shares worth £100. You're probably now sitting there wondering, well, what on earth is the point in this? But we'll cover that now. If a company has a really, really high share price, or a share price that is just continually increasing, then they might become inaccessible to new or potential investors. If the share price is too high, then potential new investors may decide that they're just going to wait for a dip before they invest because it's just too high at the moment. And it could even put off new investors who don't have the whole amount of money to purchase a single share. If a company believes that they're going to continue to increase their share price, then they may consider splitting. Forward splitting increases the liquidity. So this is the ease for an investor to buy and sell shares. If a company splits its stock like this, then they may in turn get more investors, which then may increase their share price in the future. Although there's been many times that a forward stock split has gone on to increase its share price over the next few years, it's not guaranteed. As an investor, it can be pretty exciting to hear that a stock you own is about to split, as it indicates that the company's value has outgrown its share price. Forward splitting can signal to the market that the share price is increasing and therefore that stock may be a good buy. So now let's look at some real life examples of forward stock splits. Let's just look at a big company that may historically have split. So I'm going to pick McDonald's. So firstly, we need to find out whether McDonald's has actually gone through a stock split. They have gone through quite a few by the looks of it. So let's just have a look here when they actually went through stock splits. Okay, so the last one that they went through was in 1999 and it was a 2-for-1 forward split. So now if we look at the McDonald's share price, we can have a look what actually happened following that stock split. So 1999, let's just have a look here. Exactly. So February 1999, the stock split 2-for-1. Following that, as you can see, it increased by quite a lot. And over the next few years, it did increase by a little bit. I'm zoomed out here so it won't look like too much, but you get the point. Okay, so I'm going to pick another company to look at. I'll pick Coca-Cola and we'll see if they have gone through a stock split. Coca-Cola stock split. Okay, so they went through, again, a 2-for-1 stock split in 2012, July. So let's have a look here. July 2012. Roughly there. So yeah, you can see that over the next few years, 5 or so years, the stock did increase. Not by loads, but it did increase. So you can see that usually following a forward stock split, the share price does indeed increase. So now it's Tesla time. I said I would talk about Tesla, and Tesla actually already split its stock in August 2020, and it was a 5-to-1 split. So every shareholder got 5 times the amount of stock that they had previous to that split. This was because Tesla's share price was becoming a bit unattainable for new investors. It had seen a big increase, so they split their stock. And the reason for that was to make it more accessible to new investors. And of course, what did that do to the share price? Well, in the months following that split, it caused it to go crazy. Tesla released a statement to say that the split was to make stock ownership more accessible to both employees and investors. And as I said, this came after a crazy year for Elon Musk and Tesla, where its share price was seen to increase by something crazy, like 500% between August 19 and August 20. So this is where it gets juicy. People believe that Tesla will soon be splitting its stock again. Elon Musk is known for being very mysterious and dropping hints left, right and centre on his Twitter. And people believe that he's been subtly dropping these hints, and it's leading up to another Tesla stock split. Elon tweeted, "Tesla stock price too high in my opinion," on the 1st of May 2020, and then went on to carry out a 5-to-1 split on August the 11th. People have been keeping a close eye on his tweets and believe that he suggested that a stock split will happen on the 9th of December 2021. But this could just be coincidence, and this may actually not happen, who knows. And if you're a long-term Tesla investor, this split probably doesn't really matter too much to you anyway. So now we've covered this forward conventional split, now let's discuss reverse splits. And it's basically the opposite. A company decides to decrease its number of shares in order to increase the price of each share. If you had 4 shares of a company worth £200 and then that company decided to do a 1-to-2 reverse split, you would then have 2 shares of that company still worth £200. The reason that a company may decide to do this is because they're struggling to remain on the stock exchange. So a company would really look to do this in order to not be delisted. Basically, a stock exchange has a minimum stock price, and if a company drops below that stock price, then it can get removed. It's really important for companies to be on these big stock exchanges because quite often that is a way to get new investors to invest in them. And sometimes the only way to prevent being removed is by increasing your share price by carrying out a reverse split. I really hope this helps you if you're a beginner and you didn't already know what stock splits are. If you've got any questions, leave them in the comments below. Hope you enjoyed. Give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.